Hey Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome to today's readings. Today is Sunday, and so I am asking for an immediate message from Spirit, from Source for you. And we're also going to be checking out and seeing if there's anything that Spirit or your Spirit team wants you to know about for the week ahead. Beautiful souls, welcome back. If you are returning, thank you so much for being a part of the Moon Magic family. And if you are brand new, welcome. It is fabulous to have you here, and thank you for checking out these readings. Now, we're going to draw runes and charms as well for anyone that wants a little bit of extra information. But let me first show you the cards, then we'll draw the charms and the runes. Then we will move to the readings. Now, Pile 1, you have the card of Firefly. This is the card, the energy for Pile 1 today. So if this is singing to you, this may well be the reading for you. We then, for Pile 2, have Octopus energy. The Octopus card. This is for Pile 2. And for Pile 3, we have Rabbit. This is for Pile 3, the energy, the essence of the reading and the message. Whatever you are drawn to, always trust your intuition. If it's more than one, which sometimes it is for people, trust that gut feeling. Now, beautiful souls, I always put the cards, the runes, the charms, anything I use in the readings, I will put a link below in the description, and I'll put them in a comment for you as well. So if that's something, if any of the cards are really singing to you, you'll be able to do that. And I'm just going to put these counters down so that we can put the charms on them so you can see them really, really clearly. So your charm for Pile 1 is a moon with a star. A crescent moon. So this is for Pile 1 for your charm. And runes there are, gosh, there's three runes coming out for you. We have Degas, which is the rune of breakthrough. We have Gateway. Okay, this is Thurizaz, the rune of Gateway. And we also have, well, Suelo, the rune of wholeness. Okay, now let me just move this over because we're going to have to make a bit of space for our runes and our charms. How are we going to do this? Okay, wow, I didn't expect 3 to come out. That's amazing. Okay, right, very, very exciting to be doing these readings. There's a real zingy energy around today. I'm finding that I'm just going to move these. They're not going to go where I thought they were, but hey. Readings never go where you think they're going to go. We can't begin a reading with an expectation. We just have to really see what we're shown. Right, the charm for Pile 2. Wow, you have a bird. It's a swift or a swallow. This is for Pile 2. Let's put that here. And 2 runes are coming out for Pile 2. You have movement. This is Awaz, and you also have flow. This is Lagos. Okay, Awaz and Lagos, the rune of movement, the rune of flow. That's very interesting. That's a very, very interesting combination. It really is. I am so excited to be doing your readings. Right, let's see what's next. For Pile 3, we have your charm is a feather, and it's a very pointy feather. Okay, so you have the pointy feather with rabbit, and your runes, you've got 3. Okay, we have Othilla. This is the rune of inheritance or gain, sometimes separation. Very interesting energy with this rune, very powerful rune. We then have Harvest. This is Jira. And we then also have the rune of Awaz. This is the rune of defense. Okay, very interesting. Again, very interesting energy. Right. Okay, so we have cards, charms, runes. Now, whichever or whatever is speaking to you, always trust that intuition, that gut feeling. Remember, these are timeless readings. So if you watch a reading and it doesn't quite resonate with you, or there's a message and you think, well, that's just not me, it could be that that message is for someone else, and there will be more in the reading for you. But sometimes if we pick up on a reading, we may need to look for another reading. So if one pile doesn't sing, it may be another, or indeed, because they are timeless, you can always go onto the homepage. I have playlists there. I've set up playlists. One of my daughters also helped me set up the playlists. So there are lots and lots of different playlists with different focuses for questions and things that you might want to check out, including many, many readings that you can find and see which you're drawn to get an immediate message and some guidance, especially when you are wanting as well to know what's happening in the week ahead. So, beautiful souls, I'm going to leave the video running for just a few moments longer, just to give you a little bit more time, and I will see you in the readings in just a moment. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. You have the card of Firefly. You have 3 very, very powerful runes. You've got Breakthrough. You've got, Breakthrough is seriously big. You've got Gateway, and you have sooo. Just those 3 runes alone tell a story. But let's draw cards for you before I dive into what we're being shown. So we're asking for an immediate message, and we are getting information about the week ahead. I'm going to dive straight into your tarot cards here and also draw some oracle cards for you as well. May we kindly have an immediate message for my lovely pile 1. I'm seeing this as well. Yes, this one. And I'm actually seeing that one. It's this one from the top, actually, and that one. Okay, right, let's see what we have. So you have, now this does not surprise me given your runes, you have the Shah of Swords. This is the King of Swords in a traditional pack. You have the Ace of Coins. You have the Tower. You have the Chariot. And you have the 4 of Coins. Okay, this is just fab, actually, I want to say. Fab and exciting. Exciting being the word. Okay. You also have Green Tara. When I act with kindness, I am filled with joy. You have, look at the golden colours in this. You have Faith the Sun. This is the 30th path. You have purpose, vision, self-mastery, and passion, enthusiasm, creation. Wow. This is, I want to say this is one hell of a week for you. Like I'm going to say in the best possible way. Okay. You then have sexuality. You have discover your life purpose, and you have procrastination. Forgive me, procrastination coming out at the end here with the 4 of Coins. Okay. Beautiful souls, I'm going to say there is going to be an opportunity in front of you. There may already be an opportunity in front of you, because this is an immediate message. This is, to sum up your reading in just a few short sentences, and I'm not going to just do that. I'll be saying loads more, but just to sum it up, I just want to say, opportunity is here. Like, seize the moment. Don't hold back. Own what you want. Own who you are. Own the desire in your heart. Shines. There's a spark of amazingness here for you. Absolutely amazingness. However, There's also some element of you that is either reticent, slightly, I don't know, like an energy that's a little bit clinging. Why? Why have you got energy that's clinging? We'll find out. We will find out for you. But this is an opportunity that everything in your reading is saying take it, seize the moment. Now, for some of you, this could be the breakthrough, could be literally taking ownership of your sexuality, and there's an opportunity for you to come out, to say, this is me. This is who I am. It's a breakthrough moment. I mean, this is what this rune is all about. And look at the Tower energy. This is a breakthrough moment. If there's any aspect of your world that you feel you can't own, you know, who you are, dressing how you want to be, anything and everything to do with your sexuality, the way in which you experience yourself. There could also be, for some of you, a real breakthrough in terms of your life purpose. You know, discovering your life purpose, something that's really going to sing to your soul. This is the 30th path, the sun. It's having faith, vision, purpose, passion, chemistry. In fact, I would say, as this is a general reading and it's here to reach many people, I do feel there are two key pathways that we are being shown here. So one is to do with your own sexuality, your own sensuality, and therefore it could connect to relationship and your ability to be who you are within relationship. For others, it's about your life purpose. I suppose for some there could be a combination of the two, but for some of you that it is to do with your life purpose. And I feel we're being shown two very distinct pathways here. For some reason, though, there is the potential for you to procrastinate, or indeed maybe to hold on to something. And yet I'm also wondering, perhaps with Thurizaz, the rune of gateway, are you being asked to pause for a moment to review? When I act with kindness, I am filled with joy. Let's talk about green Tara. In fact, I'm actually going to read to you from the book because it's really, really beautiful. Her story, well, I'll tell you about her story first. She says, when I act with kindness, I am filled with joy. But her story was that she really believed with absolute dedication that joining forces with someone, and I will need to remember or to read out the name of the god that she joined with, that they could heal the world, they could bring enlightenment. And sometimes she appears as green and sometimes she appears as white. And it's like the green Tara represents the darkness and the white Tara represents the light. And she can bring these together to create transformation, change. So let's just tune into it. Oh wow, that opened on the page. Wow, that's quite something as well. Normally I have to find the right page. So green Tara emerged from a lotus in the silver lake created by the tears of, and this is where I'm going to have trouble pronouncing it, Avalokiteshvara, I think is how it is pronounced. So my apologies for doing that probably badly. Avalokiteshvara. Anyway, she had a skin that appeared both green and white, and she embraced Avalokiteshvara, telling him that together they could free all beings from suffering. As green Tara, she represents the night, while white Tara represents the day. In both forms, she can reach out and show humankind the way to enlightenment. To do this, green Tara became the North Star in the sky and a leading light for those on the earth. Kindness is at the heart of everything she does. Okay, so because this is showing us something of leadership. We have the 30th path, the sun. Purpose, vision, self-mastery, passion, enthusiasm, creation. Now, for some of you, I think there is a situation in front of you where you can lead the way. Okay. In fact, I would say that's probably relevant maybe to all of you, that there's something you can do. You can lead the way. You can, and you're being asked not to hesitate with the combination of procrastination and the Four of Coins. That's what's really coming through here. You are a bright spark. You're being asked, yeah, literally to be a guiding light to others. And therefore, there's something about owning who you are. And indeed, owning who you are, being yourself, being a guiding light to others, may actually be part of your calling. I said for some of you, it could be sort of sexuality, sensuality, being who you are. This could be your way of being a guiding light for others, but you are to be a guiding light for others. Now, right now, in front of you, there is a breakthrough moment. It's like you can be the spark that ignites not just your own pathway, but I think it ignites a pathway for others. You show the way. Very interesting, because Sooo is a pathway rune. The energy of Sooo, it's almost like there is a path that you must follow. There's only one way to go. The Shah of Coins is a very direct energy. This is the King of Swords. He's in charge of his decision making. He's clear about what he's going to do and how he's going to do it. This is the energy, non-gender specific. The Ace of Coins, this is the time to sow a seed of a new beginning. So this is one very, very, very powerful reading for you. I think that there is an opportunity. If it is not right in front of you already, it's going to be. And it's a real breakthrough moment. The rune of breakthrough, of Degas. Degas literally can be like a 180-degree turn. It's like, right, this is what I need to do. I'm going to change direction. I've been doing it this way, but I'm going to do it a different way. The tower energy, I really love the tower. And I've spoken about this in some other readings. It's come through quite recently in several readings, and it doesn't surprise me, because in many ways the astrology that we're currently living with, the incoming energy, it's all about, there's a lot of tower moments in the incoming energy. And this is this kind of breakthrough moment. But for you, my pile one, the breakthrough is very much, it's really positive. It's like this is freeing you from something that has stopped you from fully expressing yourself. The element of fire is about passion and creativity. For some of you, this really is. It could be a new career pathway. It could be quite practical for some of you with the Ace of Coins. It could be a new regime of health. But for others, it could be connected to the way in which you experience yourself in relationships and ownership of your deepest desires, sensuality, sexuality, how you express yourself, whether that's in the physicality of your world or indeed in your work, your calling. There is something here about full ownership. Now, something is around you that's creating the breakthrough moment. Because the tower energy kind of says, look, change is happening. You can jump on board with it or you can resist it. But it's happening, and that's the deal, basically. I always think it's like the demolition team have arrived, It's like, this is breaking down. So what are we going to build? The materials that this tower is made of are amazing. Let's upcycle them and create something. Let's make something out of this situation. And there's only one way to go. I mean, this is a seriously onwards and upwards, or even for some of you, inwards and upwards. There is only one way to go. I feel like resistance will be useless because of the Tower card. But I just think for me, this is one of those kind of almost like destiny moments. And because we have a crescent moon and a star, remember Green Tara? She became the North Star. She guides people. And the crescent moon is the moon phase when we start to get going with something. If you think of a new moon at the time when we are setting our wishes and creating intentions, the the crescent moon is the next moon phase, and that's when we start to get going. It's like if the new moon is the point when you decide your destination, you've got an end goal, you've got in your vehicle, you've got in your car, you type in where you want to go. That's your guiding star. That's your North Star. That's, the direction you want to go in. You've then got to sort of get going. You pull out of the parking lot. That's what the crescent moon is about. You pull out of the parking lot, you get going. It's time to get going. And something is going to nudge you in the right direction. For some of you, it's more than a nudge. It's like an almighty great brick to the head. It's like, come on, get going. You need to do something. Move it forwards. You're in charge of this. Make decisions. Be this guiding light. Be the North Star to others. For some of you, even a pioneer in something. I mean, this is exciting. I don't know if it's wobbly for some of you, maybe, but it's exciting. Gateway says press the pause button and have a look at where you are now. But gateway is an invitation to step through a gateway. You can't pause for long. Gateway says climb to the top of the nearest hill, sit there metaphorically and review everything that has led you to this point in time. The good things, but also the shit things, the difficult things, the shadow side of things, as well as the light. And then with full awareness and immense gratitude for everything, because everything has made you who you are today, step through the gateway and get going. There's a pathway to follow here. It's really decisive. Your reading is exciting, decisive. If you don't know what this is yet, I think it will be shown to you very quickly. It's on its way. Some of you will know, and maybe you are reticent to speak out, to really own how you feel about something. But this would be the time to do so. It really would. Let's draw some cards and just check in on the week ahead. I'm going to use a different tarot pack. Bear with me while I just reach behind me and grab that pack. Do you know, I got this tarot pack out this morning when I was thinking about the cards, and I kind of felt like I was drawn to it, and then I thought, no, I'm not sure. I'm using the sooo tarot here, and then so I just left it out just on the shelf behind me. I just had this feeling, and do you know what? It's like this is almost like destined for your reading, because this is the Golden Wheel Tarot, so it's got so much sun energy about it. I feel this pack was like singing to you before I'd even started. Right, let's find out what to do, or what's happening in the week ahead. What is happening in the week ahead? What is happening in the week ahead for my pile ones? I am hearing with Gateway that there may be a pause in things. Maybe there's a natural pause for you to evaluate. Okay, so you've got the card of Justice. Okay. You then have the Two of Cups. You then have the Page of Cups. You then have the Six of Cups. Oh my goodness me. It's all cups. Lots of cups. Okay. Seven of Swords. Okay. Ooh, and then the Four of Wands. Wowza. Okay. How exciting. This is cool beyond belief. And it's really very, very clear. So let's look at your week ahead, and let's look at the flow of energy here. Let me move these down. I think we can do that so you can still see these cards a bit better. Excuse me while I fiddle around with these. For some reason, I just want to kind of put them in order. Bear with me. There we go, pile one. We've straightened things out. Pause the camera for a moment to do so. I think it's really interesting. I felt a real need to straighten something out. That will be relevant to some of you. There is a message there. So for some of you, you need to straighten something out, which is why we have the card of Justice. Whatever this is, whatever the breaking, for some of you, maybe even something reached a breaking point. You need to straighten something out. But there's real opportunity here to move forwards, because there is something that you really, really, really want to commit to with the Four of Wands, or you will be able to commit to this pathway. I think you're going to be able to commit to this pathway probably by the end of this week. It's kind of there. You're at a point really right at the start of this week where you're needing to call some sort of shot or say something or say how it is. Now, because we have the Two of Cups, this could connect to for some of you, to love, to a romantic relationship. I mean, again, perhaps if there's somebody you really, 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 really like, that you are absolutely drawn to, like chemistry. But likewise, it could be your calling, something you're really, really drawn to, like chemistry. I feel that there is the essence of something that is, you're really, really being drawn to something, like a moth to a flame. I think that you can initiate something here, or someone may well initiate something with you, but I suspect it's you initiating something yourself. With the Six of Cups is a very lovely card. I mean, look how steady this is, this energy. There's a givingness here. The Six of Cups is very representative of things sort of leveling out, becoming stable again, or it's a card that reminds us of the past. We're not in. It's like we're not enslaved by the past. We may be a product of the past, like Gateway Thursdays. We can look back and we can look at every single thing that's happened to you in your entire life has made you the person that you are. But you don't have to be enslaved by that. You can step through the gateway. I wonder with the Six of Cups and Thursdays whether actually, I actually think what this reading is saying this week is that initially there is a need to totally acknowledge to yourself wholeheartedly how you actually feel about something. And somehow nostalgia and reflection of history and the past and how you got to be where you are today is present in that kind of evaluation. But there is also only one way to go. I think there's something that happens that causes you, or the energy is already around you, where I sort of want to say it's at a point of no return anyway. Change is coming regardless. I feel that you are liberated from something, or you can finally move something forwards. And I would certainly suggest not clinging to the past. Both with the Six of Cups, with the Four of Coins, with procrastination, with Gateway, I wouldn't be clinging to the past. But there is nostalgia, there's review going on, evaluation, and also consideration as to how you actually then take this pathway forwards. The Four of Wands is a card of commitment. It's commitment to a new pathway forwards. It's a stable energy. You know what you want. You know where you wish to be going creatively. That spark, that passion that's calling you. You know what you want to do. You're ready to move something forwards because you kind of know you can't stay as you are. Now, I think this week is a really interesting week for you where this kind of comes to a head. It would be where let's say if someone is on your mind and you haven't yet told them how you feel about them, with the Shah of Swords, it's kind of like it's getting to the point where you've just got to say something, or you can't something happens, you can't wait any longer, or you can't pretend that you don't feel that way anymore. You can't pretend that you're one thing when actually you're another. However this fits with the uniqueness of your world. There is only one way to go. And I think, yes, you can think about with the Seven of Swords how you approach this. I always think the Seven of Swords, there's a degree of kind of tact and diplomacy that's involved here. We can be thoughtful about how we are doing this. We can consider carefully how we wish to move forwards. But I think without any shadow of a doubt, this is a week where you are drawn, or indeed events just happen to create a scenario where you absolutely do need and to follow through with something, to move something forwards with the Chariot energy. And there's only one way to go. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer, really, in its own way. You'll know how this applies. Curiously enough, it feels exciting, and I would acknowledge that maybe it's not without challenge on some level, but on a scale of, I don't know, if you were looking at percentage, on a scale of making a decision to follow a certain pathway, and you were looking at sort of, and it felt a bit challenging, this feels more like I was going to say a 60-40, maybe even a 70-30 in favour of you just know which way you've got to go. Yeah, it's much more that kind of 60-40, 70-30%. The 30% is, do you know, this is difficult. But do you know, the 70% is overridingly, I absolutely have to follow through with this because this is what feels right for me. Pile 1, this is your reading. This is like so dynamic, it's untrue. I'm really excited for you. Keep me posted, let me know in the comments what's happening. Thank you for your support of the channel. Thank you to those of you who give back through the super thanks in the comments. And thank you to all of you who've been making donations. And thank you also all of you who donate through and support the channel through joining the membership or being part of the Patreon community. That's also where I put my extended readings for the all zodiac signs. Beautiful souls, thank you so much for everything. Thank you to those of you who've signed up to my tarot course. Thank you just for being here, and thank you for walking the pathway you're walking. You wouldn't be tuning in with a reading like this if you weren't walking that spiritual pathway, and this is what is elevating the consciousness of humanity, so collectively, so thank you. And I look forward to seeing you for some other readings really soon. Tons of love, Pile 1. Pile 2, welcome to your reading. You have octopus, you have the swift or the swallow, and you have movement here, Awaz. This is something that's gathering momentum, and I'm guessing quite fast with the swift or swallow, and you have flow as well. Let's draw your cards. I'm seeing these and these and these and these and these. How exciting. I think this one as well, actually. Let's draw your cards and see what we are shown. So I've dived straight into your tarot cards today. We're asking for an immediate message, and we are also checking in on the week ahead as well. That's your card there. And okay, this one, and this one. Right, let's see what we have. So tarot cards, we have the Dervish. Okay, so this is the card of, let me just check in on that actually. Pile 2, this is so fascinating. Okay, now I trust that everything that happens in a reading is really part of the information that's coming here. Firstly, I have a kind of a mental block about the Dervish card. I work with these cards all the time. This is one of my favourite packs of cards. It's a pack that I use personally as well as in my readings here on YouTube. I think it's extraordinary that I have this sudden mental block and I can't think, what's the Dervish card? This is the Hermit. I just double check that and make sure I'm right, and I continue with your reading. I press the pause button to check it, and you know what? Even though I repress the button to start the recording again and I start to put out your cards, the recording didn't start happening, and I literally glanced up at my screen and realised. So I've put out these cards, I've started talking to you, but none of it's being recorded. There's something really, there's something significantly, radically changing. There's a change happening in your world, and I think it's happening fast. Now, let me just run through what these cards are first. I know some of you really like to have that information. So, Moat is the Death card. This is the transformation and rebirth card. We have the Five of Cups. We have the Shah of Staffs, which is the King of of Wands. We have the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Coins, and then we have Minar, which is the Tower card. Okay, and I think you can probably see that anyway from the imagery. So, I think there is something that has possibly, something is changing in your world, and it is changing very, very fast. Now, for some of you, it's well, it's interesting, isn't it, with the Hermit card. I want to say for some of you, it could have thrown you into a place of slight isolation, or, you know, suddenly it feels like something has broken, it's not working. Or for some of you, maybe it is actually, I think for all of you actually, the fact that we have the Hermit is letting us know that this is guided. But there's definitely this feeling of disappointment, sadness. There's an undertone of something here. I do feel something may have radically changed very quickly for some of you. This will be relating to some but not all. Now, whatever has changed, I think we're going to see a very significant turnaround, and I think we're going to see it change quickly. Because we've got the King of Wands, who is fast, dynamic, at the top of his game. This is the energy. And the Nine of Coins is a card of great fulfillment and reward. I mean, if, for example, some of you had just been made redundant, or a contract was ending, I think you'll get a new contract, you'll get headhunted tomorrow, or you'll get a new job, or you'll get a phenomenal payout with the redundancy. I mean, this is the kind of energy here. So something very big, amazing, fantastic is coming from this. But look even at the shift in colour. We've got like 3 cards that are feeling very, just it's not exactly a shadow energy, but just very sort of either uncertain or unknowing, not quite sure how to move forwards, or, you know, kind of waiting for guidance, hoping this is guided, which it is. It is absolutely guided. But yes, we're seeing something move forwards fast. So I think, but interesting, isn't it? Because this rune, Awaz, is the rune of movement. This is the bettering of any situation. So whatever has happened, it is going to, it's happening fast, and the change is happening in a really positive way, okay? These cards are unbelievably positive. And I know some people, I often look at this, you have the Star. I know some people look at the Tower as being a really challenging card. For me, I think I really look at cards through the lens of where we are now in our human capacity to manifest. You know, we're learning. I feel like humanity at large is in its infancy in terms of learning how to manifest successfully through the power of vibration and energy. But nevertheless, we are learning. And that means the Tower card is a really positive card, because it means change is happening. And this is like the card for me in a positive light of upcycling. You know, there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of building materials here when the Tower crashes. But actually, those building materials are the most amazing resources, and we can use them to build, like the Tower of our dreams kind of thing, the new structure. So you then have the 28th path, the Star, hope, inspiration, dreams. So this is, something is happening here very fast, and it is bringing you a radical change of fortune. It's shifting, it's changing very quickly. You may feel with the octopus energy that you are a little bit out at sea. Octopuses are wonderfully intelligent creatures. They're so, so beautiful. They're also unbelievably sensitive. You know, if you were to touch a tentacle. I'm just giggling at myself, my apologies. But if you were to touch a tentacle, not a pentacle. But interesting. I've said pentacle, so we'll come to that in a moment. Everything that comes out in a reading is right. It's always guided. But you touch a tentacle, it will retreat immediately. It will retract. You know, there's a sensitivity around you. That's what's coming through here. Possibly a sensitivity around financial change. I think that's probably what we're seeing here in this reading. There is a very big sensitivity around your material wealth or your financial changes. And I think you're ultra sensitive. Something is changing and has the potential to move very, very fast. And there are some concerns, perhaps, or maybe you have even felt that you've lost something, but there are concerns perhaps that you could lose something. This is the bettering of any situation. Look at this. We then have Morrigan. Let's look at manifestation. Conscious manifestation. With bravery and foresight, I shape my destiny. We then have discover your life purpose. Now, interesting, in pile 1, this card came out, so did the Tower. So if you were drawn to pile 1, I highly recommend that you check out that reading. We have discover your life purpose. We have victim consciousness, and we have entrapment. Right, this is really clear. Really, really clear. Whatever your circumstances, I'm going to say not only will your circumstances turn around, but you can also play a part in turning them around. Okay, I'm going to draw another card. I feel like we have a space here. So I'm actually going to draw another card from this particular pack. May we kindly have another card, please? Here we have it. We have Netzach, victory, hope, love, art. Yeah. Absolutely. You actually can play a very big part in turning this situation, turning it around in your favour, or bringing about an appropriate, harmonious, outcome. It's not even like an ending, it's an outcome. Because this is, although maybe one thing is ending, we've also got a rebirth at the same time. And this is a really, really interesting reading, because it suggests that you are feeling trapped by a situation, trapped by circumstances, or as if you can't do anything. There's something you really want. Perhaps you want a transformation, perhaps you want a breakthrough, but you just don't know quite how to do it. To do so, perhaps some of you might actually disappoint someone. You might be disappointing someone if you make a decision or a choice. For others, perhaps you are feeling disappointed by somebody else's choices, or you feel entrapped or a victim to circumstances. You could be feeling devastated by something. As I said, you could even be feeling trapped by your own choices, and feeling like, where do I go from here? You are not helpless. You are not helpless at all. That's what this reading is saying. I feel like something actually sort of has to change anyway, because that's the Tower energy. It's a gorgeous energy. It's upcycling, it's changing, it's rebuilding something. We have hope, love, art. Hope, inspiration, dreams. I mean, to have the combination of these two cards. You have Venus here. Love, balance, harmony. The star energy. I mean, you can turn this around, and I think whatever the outcome of your situation, I actually think it's going to work out amazingly, actually. And I know that's a big statement to make in any reading, but I really, really do. And I think it's going to happen fast. There is the opportunity to change things, and quickly. Now, Octopus energy sometimes talks about being very inspired, but also perhaps lacking in boundaries a little bit. So you may have to, again, think about the way that your mood shifts. You could be shifting into sort of like victim mode. I feel totally entrapped. I'm not going to be able to move forwards. I can't get to the goal that I want. I want to rebirth. I want change, or indeed I'm being forced to change and I don't know what's going to happen. However this is arriving, actually, you can do something with this. You can take charge, discover your life purpose. Part of your life purpose at this moment in time, if you think of life purpose as being multi-layered, and your life purpose it's not just something like finding a goal, or following a particular vocation or calling, or I don't know, meeting the love of your life, or whatever. It could be all of these things. But it's also sometimes your life purpose can be about self-mastery, about recognizing that you're not helpless, And what will happen is, as you navigate that at a level of kind of soul growth and human capacity, you then actually, as you step over that challenge and you learn self-mastery, you cease to feel entrapped by circumstances and situations. You are then able to, well, to be fair, the whole pathway of your life ahead changes because you're no longer held back by this pattern. So, your life purpose can be, will shift and change along the way. And it's not just about stuff and the external circumstances or how you live your life. It's internal work as well. The internal, and I think self-mastery is part of that right now. So let's just focus on the primary immediate message. And the primary immediate message that's coming through in your reading for you is that you are not a victim to circumstances. You are not a victim to other people's actions towards you or to a sort of a circumstance that you yourself could have created. You are not a victim to this. You can step up and you can do something and you can arrive at the outcome and the desired goal that you want. Literally, imagine the greatest possible outcome for you. Here we have it. We have the star energy, hope, inspiration, dreams, hope, love, art. And what I would add to this, of course, is that we don't have control over others. Self-mastery, empowerment. Empowerment isn't power over others, it's power over ourselves. So self-mastery, if, for example, hypothetically, your situation involved somebody else, you don't have power over them. I remember talking to somebody about setting wishes and intentions around the new moon, and we were talking about relationship, and I said you can't really make a relationship that actually I wish to be with that particular person if they happen to be in a really, really happy relationship with someone else. What you've got to do is wish for a person that's just like them. You can't make it, you can't change somebody else's destiny, you can change your own. However, of course, if you were wishing to be with somebody and they happen to be free and single and like you equally, then that's marvellous. But this is part of self-mastery. It's recognising that we can create. We are living is a creative process, and we can harness that creative process in a conscious way. So, primary message: you can change your circumstances or your situation, or you can't change your circumstances, I don't think, but you can change the outcome. You're in charge of the outcome. You're not entrapped. You're not a victim. Let's look at the week ahead. Things are changing fast for you. This is not a go with the flow reading. When Lagos comes up, sometimes it literally is saying go with the flow. This isn't saying go with the flow. This is about self-mastery. So Lagos can also speak about the challenges that we encounter at the beginning of a new phase in our lives, at the beginning of a new life, literally. The ups and downs, the uncertainties. And it's about the ebb and flow of careers, the ebb and flow of relationships, the ebb and flow of emotions. So I feel that there's an ebb and flow, and awareness of that ebb and flow will be very, very healthy for you, very good for you. Do check out my moon energy update with readings. I did them for the new moon because I give you a whole rundown of the current month and the incoming ebb and flow of the incoming lunar energy and the astrology and how that might be impacting on you. It's very, very helpful because you can really see if you have a day that's really intense and you just don't know what to do with yourself. Well, actually, that energy update will let you know what the energy's like, and let's ease off and get still, or let's seize the moment and use the energy to take action. It can be really helpful anyway. My lovely pile twos, right. I kind of also feel I'm listening to my language. I'm talking I think faster than I maybe sometimes do in my readings. I'm now consciously slowing myself down. That's telling me something about the energy in your reading. Something is moving fast. Slow yourself down. think about your choices. Let's ask about the week ahead for my pile 2. You are not a victim to circumstances. You can do something here. Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups. Absolutely, you can do something. You can move something forwards. The Knight of Cups, I always feel, brings forth a gift. He offers something. It's interesting the Knight of Cups is facing that away, backwards. Strength, 2 of Swords, the Empress, 7 of Cups, and the Death card showing up again. Okay, right, okay. I think the energy this week, because something's moving forwards very quickly, I think you are in a position, for example, I'll use an example here. If you had a falling out with someone, with the Knight of Cups, you could offer, kind of like an olive branch. You can move something forwards, but it feels quite reflective because he's looking backwards. I think it's really interesting as well. Let's just touch base here with Morrigan as well, because Morrigan is an energy. She's like a guide to warriors. She guides warriors, and it is interesting that she does connect to death and rebirth, actually, and also to strength and guidance. And you've got the Strength card, you've got the Death card showing up twice. You also have the Hermit, which is a card of guidance. Often almost like a mentor can show up. So with bravery and foresight, I shape my destiny. I feel that something has happened very fast or very quickly. And I do actually think, as I said, your primary message is that you're not a victim to this. You're being asked to have the courage of your own, to have the courage and strength of your own choices in this circumstance. Now, with the Knight of Cups, as I said, he's offering something. So if you have, I don't know, if you'd had a falling out with somebody, or there's been a lack of boundaries, maybe very thoughtfully you are needing to actually honour, what's happened in the past is coming through here. Like a peace offering, but also have boundaries. The octopus energy is very sensitive, but can lack in boundaries. Tentacles can go out. Yes, tentacles and pentacles. Let's get back to that again. Tentacles and pentacles. So I think there's something about reaching out. Octopuses can reach out. I'm going to say reach out and test the waters with something here. Knight of Cups, he's walking through water. Yeah, there's really clear guidance here for you. Okay, so this week, reach out and test the waters. Have the strength of your convictions, the courage of your convictions. You have choices in this circumstance, but tentatively reach out and test the waters. If you're needing to negotiate something around finances, or you're needing to make an inquiry about something, tentatively reach out. But reach out from a position where you own the outcome that you personally desire. This is ever so specific, but I'm just going to go with this. Reach out tentatively. Have the courage of your own convictions. I think what will happen is that there will be a decision to make. You may feel a little bit of conflict around this. Maybe you're having to reach out and negotiate because something's happened very quickly, or something broke down. I'm more inclined to think that basically something is, as I said, it could even be that something's come to a head, or you've reached a point where you can't sustain something any longer. This is kind of choice week, actually. That's what I'm seeing here for you. This is what your reading is all about. It's all about honouring your choices, honouring your new beginnings, honouring what you can build from here, honouring what you want to manifest in terms and how you want to shape your own destiny. I think there is a choice to be made this week that sets you on a new kind of sets the pace for a new chapter of your life. It is full of hope, of love, of inspiration, of dreams. There could be money worries about how you navigate this. But you can do this. Just contemplate your choices. And this is, I kind of want to say trust, really. The Empress is a card of abundance. The Nine of Coins is a card of great financial fulfillment, of great satisfaction, of doing the work. You have resources. You've done this. I think you're on much more solid ground than you realise. I think something can be built from this circumstance, whatever this circumstance is for you. I think something can be built that will be absolutely lovely with the Empress. But it's kind of this is about embracing it. And I think owning the choices that you have within your current situation. And I think that's what's happening this week. I think things are moving forwards. They're reaching a point of kind of no return. But yeah, you're not without agency. And I genuinely think you can reach a point where a really, really, really fabulous outcome comes from this. As I said, everything here is about just recognise that self-mastery, shaping your own destiny, but, in a way that is also, not, I want to sort of say not fixed in stone. I mean, if the tower breaks, maybe you've got to sit down and think about what shape is the tower you're going to redesign. What's the new tower going to look like? But Pathfinder, we have the star, hope, inspiration, dreams. This is actually your reading. I don't think there's any more to say, really, pile one. I mean, these are weekly readings. If you're needing more guidance, go to the homepage and check out, other readings. There are lots of readings that ask specific questions. I post several readings, big picker card readings, all week, and daily readings as well with shorts. So there's lots of readings here on the homepage. Do check out the monthlies for the individual zodiac signs as well. That may be helpful. But if you need more guidance specifically, I would check out some other readings. But your weekly reading and your immediate message is to really say you're not a victim. And you can actually make choices with the Seven of Cups. Evaluate. I do think something is radically changing in your world. I think it's probably going to radically change one way or the other, but I feel it's coming to a head in some way. There is disappointment. There's something that I think there's something that has to possibly end for some of you. But your life's purpose is to really take an ownership of the future that you're building from now, and the choices and decisions that are being made around you now, which are not necessarily, for some of you, it's about you making a choice or a decision. For others, choices and decisions are being made and it impacts on you. But it's about the choices you then make for yourself. As I said, you're not a victim and you're not entrapped, even if you feel as though you are. And that is what your reading is saying. This is a big reading. Beautiful souls, if this is not resonating with you, it may not be the right reading for you. Wonderful pile two. I hope this is helpful to you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for commenting. Keep us posted in the comments. Thank you for liking, sharing, for subscribing. Thank you all who give back through the comments, through the super thanks. Your donations are really appreciated. And thank you all who donate, and those of you who belong to the membership area here. And that helps the channel, to the Patreon community. In both those areas, that's where I also put my extended readings for the all zodiac signs. But, thank you all for your support. Thank you to all of you who've signed up for my tarot course. It's amazing to be connecting with you more personally there. So beautiful souls, tons and tons of love. And I look forward to seeing you for some other readings really soon. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. You have Othilla, which is a really interesting rune because it's about inheritance, gain, but also separation. It generally implies that there is something you're going to get because you let go of something. And you have harvest, Jira. I mean, harvest is, well, it's an amazing rune. It can signify a period of time. It can suggest that the harvest will come in. It may not be immediate. This rune is very, very interesting, though, at the end. I think the runes are really telling stories today. The readings are blowing me away completely today. So this is defense. This is Awaz. This rune can suggest that you... it's almost... So it talks about patience and it talks about perseverance. And it also suggests that it's like we develop an aversion to conduct or behaviour that is not... that doesn't sit well with us. Or so something could, something might not be feeling okay. We've got this pointy feather. Usually when this charm comes up, it can suggest, I mean, I'm hearing that maybe something is being pointed out to you as well. It can suggest that you need to take a decisive action, but something is being pointed out to you, I'm hearing. Let's not say too much more. Let's get an immediate message for you. Let's find out about the week ahead for you in a moment, but initially your immediate message. Okay, I'm seeing these cards for you. I do think that one, gosh, those two, you've got more tarot cards than any other pile. Let's see what your oracle cards are showing. We're going to have trouble putting these out. I think it is actually that one for you. Let's see what we are shown for my lovely pile 3. It is actually that one. We get an immediate message, guidance for my pile 3. Now, we may draw more cards, we will see, but let's have a look. Right, your tarot cards, 9 of Staffs. So this is the 9 of Wands. So there's a series of steps to take. There's a process to go through. I think you are leaving something behind, actually, but there are a series of steps you need to take to get there, okay? You're not entirely sure. We've got 2 of Wands, sorry, 2 of Swords, followed by the Ace of Swords. Yeah, you're not entirely sure exactly what those steps are yet. You know, look at this, you have the Sun of Coins. This is a card of harvest. Right, there's a process to go through to get to something that you want, or you're needing to, something is ending and there's a new beginning. You don't quite know exactly, I think. Almost like it's almost like what do you do first? But the way is going to be cleared for you. We've got the 6 of Swords. I think for some of you, you've already initiated this process. Things have already got going. You may not actually know exactly what the next step is, or you may not even know quite how you're going to find your way through this. But there is a process of separation, of leaving something behind, and you are in that process. You're in it. There's no going back, I don't think. I think it's going to move forwards more quickly than you realise with the Son of Swords. Either that, yes, look at this, and then we have 2 3s. Let's place these in the middle, and then we'll look at where we put your other cards. Right. Okay. Yeah, no wonder you have the Rune of Defence, because the 3 of Swords is a card that, you know, there's a broken heart involved here. So, I mean, this could be something for some of you, like a divorce or a separation or parting company from something, because you could even be moving. I mean, this can speak of real property. Othilla speaks of literally real estate sometimes. But this is... There is some process of separation. There's more than one step. It's like different steps that you have to go through to get to the end goal. You will get to the harvest, but it could feel at the moment like this is a bit of a bumpy road. Like basically the 6 of Swords, I often think there's a few, you can see where you want to go. You know there's a new direction in sight. and it's very transformational. But there's a few bumps in the road along the way, and that's kind of where it's at. Now you have the card of of Jackie. I take the time to be still and I calm my soul. You have entrapment, and you have the 21st path, the Wheel of Fortune, fortune, quest, abundance. Okay, this is super nice, this card, because it tells us that you will get to the goal that you are desiring. Okay, the same with the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is a card of celebration. You know, we're seeing a celebration, like almost maybe even sometimes like an engagement, or it can indicate the birth of a child even sometimes. So I feel that the situation you're in, I think you'll be able to move through this more quickly than you realise. At the moment, it could feel like there's a long journey ahead of you. It's like I don't quite know what steps I need to take or how I need to do this in order to move this forwards. You may even be feeling kind of trapped by circumstances. And it may be that circumstances are happening that are leaving you feeling as though you have no choice but to move forwards. But you will be able to move forwards even if you don't know what the steps are. I'm going to get a lot more guidance for you, pile 3. But this is going to move forwards far more quickly than you realise. The wheel will turn. And it's turning in your favour. I mean, I'm not seeing anything negative. In fact, I think it will turn harmoniously. If for example, you were going through a divorce and there's real property involved. This is a hypothetical situation, but let's just say, because this is the kind of energy that we're talking about. I mean, when we do a reading, we need to talk about the energy of it if it's a general reading. And, obviously if somebody's asking specific questions, we'll know what is being shown up. But if you're talking in general terms, we need to think about how that energy applies to our unique circumstances. So, but I will use this as an example. If Othilla speaks of real property, and separation. So let's say, for example, you're going through a divorce and you've got to separate and sell a house or something like that, or you've got to work out how you're going to divide resources. And you've no idea how you're going to do this. Well, and there are steps to go through. But with Jira, you're looking ahead and thinking, God, this could take a year. How am I ever going to get to the end goal? I feel completely trapped by circumstances or even by a legal system. What if you're trying to sell a house and move? And you're just feeling like that's the process you're going through. And you're just feeling like, I've no idea. This is going to take forever. The house is never selling. I'm not going to get the one that I want. It's the same kind of energy. When is it going to happen? You're feeling very much in the dark about this or uncertain about how. But I actually feel this reading is saying, look, you're not actually entrapped by circumstances. You may be feeling it. You may be feeling like you're having to wait for other people to call the shots. And it may be that you are. But the Three of Cups suggests that there's going to be a kind of a celebration, and this is connecting with people. Like it's like connecting with your besties, people being there to support you, working together. If you were even, because it can indicate the birth of a child even. So there's a birth of something here that's going to come. The wheel is going to turn. I think you're in a situation which is feeling, well, as I said, it's all about separation, but we're being shown that there will be a phenomenal gain from this separation. There'll be a harvest. We've got the card of harvest. The Son of Coins is the card of harvest. Okay, so let's look at Jackie for a moment. Because Jackie's actually a beacon of hope. That's what this card represents. So I'm going to read to you about this. Do you know Jackie? Jackie, here we go. Okay, so fashioned by the thunder god Tupa, Jackie is so beautiful and bright that she illuminates the darkest sky and is a beacon of hope for humans and gods alike. Her heart is open and filled with love for the rainforest, and she is governed by the element of water. So she's a Brazilian moon goddess, by the way. Stillness, peace, healing and nurture. When the sun god, yeah, she's governed by the element of water, so emotions are involved here. And when the sun god, how do I pronounce that? Guaraki beheld her, his passion was so strong that it burned trees and crumbled the earth. Jackie cried when she saw the destruction, and her tears then quelled the fires. The lovers decided to stay apart, but Jackie's grief was so strong that her tears formed the river Amazon. The lovers wait for the brief moments during an eclipse when they can reunite. Okay, so Jackie, the indigenous Brazilian moon goddess, represents tranquility and reflection. Okay, and then there's a ritual. I think in this reading, particularly with Othilla, separation, I think for some of you, this is separation from someone or something that you love. There's an ending, or something that you thought would be stable or be there for the long term. There's an ending of something, because Othilla is about separation, but it's also about gain and inheritance. So just as we have the Three of Swords, we have the Three of Cups. So just as something feels as though, someone is broken-hearted, the thing about the threes is that they are a turning point. If we can acknowledge that something hasn't worked, we can then move it forwards. With the Son of Swords, I think you can move it forwards quite quickly. So, as I said, it could be moving from a home that you love, or having to, let's say, you're renting your lovely apartment and you love it, and then someone says, I'm so sorry, we need it back. We're moving back, and we need the apartment, you're going to have to move, and you're heartbroken. But actually, you will, and you don't know how you're going to find the next, but there'll be steps to take, a process to go through to get to the end goal. Something really positive is coming from this. There is something really fruitful. If any of you are, as I said, coming through something that involves money or finances, the separation, or the separation from, I use the example of a divorce, but something where you're selling something, I think you'll come out of this with what you need. But there are steps to go through, and there's a lot of reassurance here. I mean, I think that's what you're reading in many ways. Your immediate message is, I guess, acknowledging your situation, but the most important message coming through for you in the immediacy of this is that you will get to the harvest, you will get to the desired outcome, you'll get to something that provides for you or gives you what you need, and you'll get to that pathway of abundance. The wheel is turning. You don't have to worry about it. Even if you don't quite know how you're going to get there, even if you're feeling like circumstances are pushing you to have to do something, or you've initiated change, but something's been pointed out to you. I think things will be pointed out to you along the way. There is a need to not worry here. Patience, perseverance comes with Ahaz. Something had to change as well, because there's an aversion, an energy of something that doesn't resonate with you anymore. What it kind of tells us, that even if you were living in your dream apartment and suddenly you're having to move, this is actually telling us that the energy and the essence of where you were living was no longer right for you, and there will be something that is so much better, so much more purposeful, that is coming. So that's really what we're seeing here, and these are your immediate messages. You're going to get the harvest. You're going to get what was needed and what was right for you, and it will be, I would venture to say it's going to be something that resonates with you, that's relevant to you now. Something that is no longer relevant is departing, but for some of you, I think that's feeling a little bit like either overwhelming. How do I get there? I want this, but how do I get there? Or I didn't really want this, what's going to happen? This is the kind of energy around you. That's what I'm being shown in your reading today. Let's draw some cards and ask about the week ahead. How's the actual week panning out? Okay, we are seeing this and this and this and this and this. Oh, those two. Okay. Right, we have the Two of Cups. Okay, I think this came out in pile 2, I have a feeling. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which is really interesting, given that we have, in fact, let me move these down so we can bring these cards into the middle and still see some of these a little bit more. So you've got the Wheel of Fortune showing up twice. So Two of Cups, first of all. Isn't that interesting? New love. New love. We've got Wheel of Fortune. So there is something that is so much better. For some of you, you could be exiting one situation because something new has shown up, but you're also not sure how to exit a situation. But don't worry. You're going to be able to navigate this. We have the Seven of Cups as well. This showed up, as I said, I think the Two of Cups and the Seven of Cups may have shown up in pile 2. I think so did the Death card. Okay, we then have the Devil. And then we have the Three of Cups showing up again. Wow. Okay. My dearest pile 3. I think this week, because we're asking about cards this week, I think this week you can actually sever some ties to something that is holding you back. Okay. I think the circumstances are changing. This is very, very, very interesting. Because at the moment, looking at your initial cards, I'm sort of seeing this real sense of how do I move this forwards? I don't know what steps to take. I know there will be a process to go through, but I don't know how to do it. What I'm seeing this week is that something will be shown to you that means you know what your choices are. There's empowerment here. We've got the Two of Cups, which so there's almost as if the end goal becomes clear to you. And because we have the Wheel of Fortune, things are moving forwards to a space of empowered choice, conscious choice, choices with awareness in the Seven of Cups. And because we have the Death card, transformation, rebirth, and the Devil, and the Devil card is ultimately about, if you look at let's look at the two sides of the Devil card. The two sides of the Devil are, on the one hand, it's a card of liberation, where we choose to cut cords from things that no longer serve us. It is also an acknowledgement sometimes of the things we really desire. So, if we look at both those elements, I think this week there will be a change in circumstances that shows you the choices that are available to you. At the moment, you don't know how to move this forwards or how to respond to what's going on. Hence the entrapment card. But you will be able to respond to this and actually move something forwards. And we're seeing a celebration. So this would be like, if I use that example of a divorce, and like, let's say you were divorcing somebody or you've got to move, this would suggest that you arrive at a really, really healthy, joyous agreement with the Three of Cups, because this is like best friends getting together and celebrating, and it's showing up twice. This would be like if you're in the middle of moving but you haven't yet found the new apartment to go to. This would suggest that this week you find the new apartment and it's like, wow, this is even better than the one I was in, and it's in a better area, and it's like right on the doorstep of my best mate. I can't believe this has happened. This has so worked out in my favour. There'll still be a process to go through, but patience, perseverance, you'll know where you're going, I think, by the end of the week. And I do feel there'll be a really, really harmonious outcome that means that you know where you're going. You're no longer fearful. I mean, I think with the rabbit card, sometimes it's a bit like seeing the rabbit in headlights, or you pop your head up and you think, don't know what to do. I mean, rabbits are timid. How do I do this? How do I move it forwards? I think this week it will become very clear to you that there is a way forward, and you will, I think by the end of the week, you'll kind of know how to kind of almost like get from A to B, and there may still be steps to take, but I think you will know, and I think you will have in mind a really beneficial outcome that favours everybody. It's harmonious. You know, it's like an amicable separation, or, you know, everyone's in agreement, or as I said, you find that new apartment, or whatever it is for you, and however this applies, you arrive at a space. It's interesting, even the card of Jackie, she arrives at a point where she is in harmony and in balance in order to stop stuff being ignited. You know, things are ignited by passion, and then, you know, but her tears put out the flame. There's the destructiveness is removed from a situation, or the fears of something being destructive, or something being acrimonious, or something being difficult, or something being turbulent, or something being, you know, a challenge or heartbreaking. I feel like the fear of the detriment is removed, and you arrive at a space of really beautiful, of a harmonious outcome. So this is really joyous, whatever this is in your personal world. It may even be that some friends point something out to you, the pathway is pointed out to you. But either way, this is what your reading is saying, and I think we're looking at a really, really beneficial week for you, where your fears are allayed in some way, shape or form. So my beautiful, beautiful pile threes, keep me posted in the comments. I'd love to know what's going on. I can't reply to you all, but I do read your comments. Thank you so, so much. And tons and tons and tons of love to you all. Thank you so much to those of you who give back through the super thanks in the comments. Your donations are really appreciated. Thank you to those of you who donate, and also those of you who are members in the YouTube members area. You know who you are. Thank you. For those of you on Patreon, you know who you are. Your ongoing donations really, really do help to support the channel. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Tons and tons of love, and I look forward to seeing you again really, really soon. Don't forget to check out my my all zodiac sign readings on my other channel, and also thank you so much to those of you who have signed up and joined me on my tarot course. It is fabulous to be connecting with you, and on your tarot journey, learning to read. Thank you so, so much, all of you. Tons and tons of love.